Hello and welcome to Topham Chats. This week, yet again, my guest is Shoban. Hey man, how's it going?
Good, man. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. The hesitation there was because I lost my balance. I'm standing on a foam roller and I'm trying to keep myself balanced, and it's not working particularly well. So I might step off of that because, yeah, it's throwing me off a little bit. But that's okay. So yeah, how have things been going?
Good, man. Well, good-ish. Work's been a little crazy the past couple weeks.
Uh huh.
And then I've also been working on a few projects. Like I have a friend that I've known for a couple years now. He made a song and he wanted me to remix it.
Uh huh.
So
Nice.
every chance I've got, I've had to try to like sit in front of my computer and figure out how to do that.
Okay.
And yeah, and then other than that, Friday Night Flash has been going strong.
Wicked.
And yesterday, I just bought my tickets to fly to Houston, where I'll be meeting up with Andres, and then we'll be driving up together to Austin.
Oh, awesome.
It's gonna be
Awesome.
great.
It's so soon as well. It's like, well, I must have worked it out, and it's, what, 7 weeks? Just less than 7 weeks now?
Something like that. Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
month and a little bit.
Yeah. So I'm super excited and ready now to just go and just meet up with everyone and have a lot of fun because there's going to be a whole bunch of things to do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so many things to do. I think there's things planned for every night. I'm not exactly sure, but I know that there's plenty to do.
Definitely.
So I'm looking for that. Looking forward to that. Yeah, what was I going to say? Well, speaking of RTX and Rooster Teeth related stuff, I guess they've announced their $1 million butt thing, and that's out as well.
Yes, that is
So
out. Yep.
that's caused a bunch of commotion because people are like, maybe it's not the best idea. Uh, and yeah, I think the game looks pretty cool, but maybe doing it through Kickstarter wasn't, I don't know, the best idea. But I don't know, it's going to get them some publicity no matter what happens.
Oh,
So,
that's for sure. I
you
know.
know,
They say Ajin on the site. He also it's James.
yeah,
He's an economist, and he sort of went through and he broke down what's good and what's bad about it. I think that's probably one of the best articles in terms of discussing the game and its use of Kickstarter I've
yeah,
ever seen. I always love reading his stuff. So
yeah. That was a really cool journal. It was like his week 18 post.
yep.
It was all about MDB, $1 million spot on Kickstarter, and yeah, I commented a few times on it, and yeah, we're in very much agreement of it. Like, just because they can do it doesn't necessarily mean they should have done it that way.
Exactly.
But you know, that's just one of those things. They've done it now, and they got fully funded in 2 minutes,
Yep.
and yeah, they're what, $750,000 as of right now when we're recording this.
I haven't even looked at it. So the fact that it's already at 750, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. The problem is as well, I'm like, oh, I have problems with them like doing it this way, but at the same time, I'm going to pay for a version of it because that's just that's a tabletop game that I want to play. So, you know, it's going to be one of those things. It will go in my ever increasing collection of Rooster Teeth stuff.
No, that's fair. I feel like they should co-op that. Remember that GIF that used to come around? That it was when the Wii first came out, and it was a picture of Miyamoto and someone else. I can't remember who it is at the time. And they're holding up the Wii, and money is shooting out of it, and the caption is "It prints money."
Yeah,
I feel like they should do the exact same thing with like the Rooster Teeth folks.
yeah. It's just crazy, like the support that they've got right now.
Oh yeah.
It's showing that I don't know the community's strong in there, but I don't see it as being particularly vocal.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a bit weird at the moment because there's a lot of fans and
Yeah.
it's not a massive amount of engagement.
From what I've seen, it's like right now. It's just there are a lot of fans, but I feel like there's only like a few people that are willing to sort of discuss, like have like an open forum discussion on subjects, whether
Yeah.
good or bad. But I mean,
Mhm.
at the same time, you kind of get that across the board, and
Yeah.
really, it's just a matter of looking in the right places. So
Hmm. Yeah. I think this week on the site has been like particularly telling of the state of the community as well because
yeah,
people were willing to share their feelings about $1 million, but and at the same time share their feelings about the thing that Shane wrote.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and but there's been a lot of people comment on it, but most people have remained level-headed about it and not been like, "Oh, this is the worst thing they've ever done," or "This is the best thing they've ever done." And so it's good to see that the people that are interacting are all level-headed, balanced about everything, and can see things clearly. I actually haven't seen like many posts that are like outright praise or outright like dismissal or like anything unkind towards them without justification.
Right.
Like you'd expect in some areas of the internet, I guess, where people just rage on things because they can.
Right.
I've seen a lot of well-made points rather than people going over the top on things.
I
But yeah, it's nice to see.
I think it might also have to do with the fact that sort of the people that have Rooster Teeth accounts and are very active in the artsy community,
Hmm.
they I don't know, they tend to go above and beyond in terms of understanding not only just like being fans of the product, but they understand the business and the purpose of doing things.
Yeah.
And it's like
So,
it's like they've had this platform where they've been able to talk to the people all the time.
mhm.
As soon as Shane released his letter, or I don't really call it a letter, it's more of like a manifesto. It's kind
Yeah.
of like he wrote 36 pages to the point of like, this is my stance, I'm taking a stand, this is everything I'm writing about my life here.
Hmm.
Um from on the Rooster Teeth community, like on the website, it was just kind of like everyone was, "Oh, okay, this sucks, but I understand that there are probably some truths. There are probably some things that are a little bit distorted based on his perspective. We're not taking a stance. Like, we'll sit on the middle and we'll figure out what's going on together."
Yeah. Hmm.
However, on other platforms, I've seen just terrible, like, just witch hunts and people bringing in random people that don't need to be brought in because there's no point. Oh, you were
Yeah.
a voice actor for like 2 episodes? All right, this is your fault. Like, come on, people. Like, this is
Yeah.
just like common sense. Common sense needs to prevail here.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. It's been a weird time for
Hmm.
just the community stuff in general. But it is nice to see on the Rooster Teeth side that people keeping level headed about it. Like Reddit's been particularly good about staying on top of everything as well.
Right.
The subreddit that they're really well. You get attacked on Reddit if you say something that's completely out of the blue. And yeah, I've not seen anything that's been massively downvoted, but then again, that stuff disappears very quickly
Right.
when you look at the threads.
Yeah.
But
It's more of like the social media ones, like Twitter was
mhm,
absolutely the worst. Like
yeah,
I'd never thought I could see that much like just backhanded like just nasty stuff from people until I
hmm,
saw Twitter. Uh,
hmm,
Facebook wasn't bad. It was just more of confusion and like friends just trying to figure out what's going on.
yeah.
I
I
didn't
mean,
even
the
want to.
whole thing just took me an hour and a quarter to read because
Yeah,
it was 36 pages. I was like,
I
it
didn't
was
even
horrendously
I didn't even
daunting.
read the whole thing. I literally like because he broke everything down year by year. I just went to 2015 January and then just kind of
Hmm.
skimmed through that last like the last little bit. I didn't even read his conclusion.
Yeah,
I literally just took those like what 8 pages and was like, all right, this is it.
yeah. I thought I'd try and get like the whole story and just try and piece it together and like form my own opinion. And I was like, okay, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, I don't know. Rules are in place for a reason, and if they make exceptions for one person, now that there's if they make exceptions, you can't in an environment like that make exceptions when people are doing things a little differently.
Right,
And
and to go on like just a bit of like a side note from what I've kind of seen.
mhm,
When I was in my last year of university, I joined a group of people that we were trying to do stuff to like help just our community in like where I was. and we had presentations that we had to compete on at like the regional and national level.
Yeah.
So every single person that was there was only in like all the directors, which I was one of them. We were only in our early 20s, like
Yeah.
20, like I think the oldest person was maybe 24.
Hmm.
And just you'd see a lot of people, and you were responsible for people who were like only slightly younger than you to your own age, so 19 to 21, and just like at that age, like you don't have the maturity to be able to handle like everything that comes your way. So you're gonna handle stuff in poor fashion. So, and I feel like, especially like with Rooster Teeth, like the founders were in their late 20s, early 30s when they started. So there was
Yeah.
that level of maturity that did occur at the very beginning. And
Hmm.
then now you got a lot of people that are in their early to mid 20s, and they're doing a fantastic job at what they do. But at the same time, there is still that level where you are dealing with people that are your age, are older than you, and you have to try to not only gain the respect of your peers, but gain the respect of people who likely will either consider you either their equal, or in some ways that they can see that they're better than you. So they, I feel like, that needs to sort of be addressed. Not to
Yeah.
say, oh, get rid of these people, they're terrible, like they shouldn't be they shouldn't be in management. No, not at all. But at the same time, something should be fixed in a way where situations like this, like it just shouldn't happen.
Yes. Yeah. I think, like, I don't know, mirroring what like I've experienced as well is like we need people in position to have had like those positions before, or a way to like give examples of how to handle certain situations, or um how to give a template of how people are expected to work, um and rather than so that people can be like, oh, that's the kind of attitude I need to follow. And like, I had a boss that was hired before me, and I'm like, okay, I need to try and follow this. And from there, even though she was there and she wasn't very good, like for 9 months, I tried to understand what she was doing, what role she was doing, and then I kind of tried to incorporate that into what I was doing, and I learned from having someone above me that was being sort of I don't know, like giving me a rough template of how to work and how to be more efficient. And you just need someone with experience to be there rather than just starting up, or someone with a clear idea of like the direction that things need to go.
Exactly.
And just yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to say I was having problems, but at the same time, I needed to understand that things need to be done in a certain way,
Right.
and like the way to get things done. Whereas I think a lot of the people at Rooster Teeth, I know like Michael and Gavin are a good example. They might like come across as goofy a lot of the time, but Gavin had to work his ass off to get into the United States, and
Hmm.
Michael was a trade electrician
Yes.
before he was hired. So they both know how to do like a serious job. Whereas like the people, I don't know, further down, I say further down, I mean younger
Right.
in general, there might not necessarily have that work ethic that you get from having another kind of job or something like that. I don't
It,
know. I don't know what point I'm trying to make exactly, but at the same time,
no, I
there's a lot
agree.
of
And
you've
even
got to have that
people
ethic.
like Lindsay and Brandon and Chris, like they started off doing one thing. Like look at Lindsay's a perfect example.
Lindsay, yeah.
Lindsay was brought on what, to edit the podcasts. That was it.
Yeah, she did the link dumps for the podcast. She was brought in to do that side of
Exactly.
things,
And then so
broadcasting.
like after with time, sort of like going through everything, she worked at it, and then it was basically like, okay, like now she understands like how kind of people operate. And from, you could see like how she talks, especially on like the off topic podcast and a couple other podcasts. She understands how people operate, and
Hmm.
then understanding how people operate, she understands when people are being taken to the limit and telling people, and she pulls back, or she tells people to calm down. You could tell that just from the way she behaves, that she understands that type of idea. So
Yeah.
naturally, she would progress to some bigger and better things because she has that understanding. It's not just
Yeah.
all about, oh, you could do like you do like you perform really well. We'll give you the thing. We'll give you like a managing position. Like no, they need to understand. And also, I guess I feel like we have to also put this idea of we're all speculating right now. We're not. We don't work for the company. We don't like. We don't live at the company. We don't do anything. Like
We're just fans.
yeah, we're
We're
just
just
fans, and
part of the
we're
community, fans of it. So
exactly. We're just speculating here. Like we don't know what's going on. So
yeah, yeah. I like the way that the Achievement Hunter channels was kind of chaotic and weird for a while, and now we weren't getting the shows that they were doing before, Hunt versus and things like that.
right.
And over the last 2 weeks, we've seen a proper resurgence in those as well. They're being more regular, regularly occurring, and then they've got their new show, We Are the Champions. They named it because people were out of the office that couldn't stop them from changing, having that name. I was like, that's brilliant, but at the same time, come on, guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's been a really showing time since the beginning of the year to see that they've got a regular schedule of things. They've got the podcast. They've now got what's called theatre mode,
Yep.
which is something I wanted to bring up because I watched the first episode of
Same.
it, and I was like, that is hilarious. It's so well done, and yeah, I can't wait to watch the second one, which is now out because they originally changed their plan as well because they were talking on the podcast, on the Off Topic podcast, that they were going to do the trial one, and then they were going to bring one out a month every for the next 5 months.
Right.
And then last week on Off Topic, they said starting next week, which was the week we just had, they were going to have the next episode out, and then they've got 7 more to do over the next 7 weeks as well. So because the reaction's been so good to it as well, so it's nice that they're flexible in the demand that they've seen.
Right.
Yeah, that's the words I wanted to use. So they see, oh, there's high demand for this, so we're going to give it a run of this many episodes, and it's cool to see that they're planning everything as well accordingly.
Yeah, no, it's really good. I think it's also because, Jeff's been really working on the Let's Play stuff, so the Achievement Hunter situation sort of, decreased. But
Yeah.
now that Lindsay's kind of taking the reins, she's on top of it, and she's worked on, at this point, I believe she's worked on all levels of Achievement Hunter. So she knows how everything sort of operates from, the performers right down to, the editors. So...
Yeah. Well, she's the only person that's been in, every area
yeah.
of Rooster Teeth as well.
Yeah.
So, that was something that was brought up when she went over to Achievement Hunter, and it was just, it's crazy, because she was on the podcast, then she was on live action, she did Ruby and RVB and in Achievement Hunter, and it's just, ridiculous, and she did a lot of writing for, X-Ray and Vav as well, didn't she?
Yeah, she did.
Along
I
with
don't know if
Jordan,
she had
so-
writing or if she just had creative input, but
Yeah, but,
Yeah, no.
that's a crazy talented woman right there.
of course.
Who a lot of... I don't know, she's a great role model. And then she was on The Spot recently, and it was amazing. Because On The Spot was incredible. The Mother's Day episode. I was like, this... it was hilarious.
So good.
Yeah. We've talked a lot about Rooster Teeth. It's been I don't know, quite a long time.
Yeah, it's been fairly long.
Yeah. Oh, well. What games have you been playing recently?
I've still been playing a lot of Destiny. That
Yeah?
just but it's kind of reduced in terms of how much I played, just because because of work and everything has kind of slowed me down.
Yeah.
I did play the Overwatch beta. That was a lot of fun.
I didn't get along with it at all.
Really?
I was trying to play it, and I finished a match, and we won,
Right.
but I don't know how we won. I don't know what the move of the match was, what it was referring to.
Right.
And I just didn't follow it. I was trying to, follow the prompts, where it's oh, you don't have a tank and you don't have a healer, so I was, trying to play one of those, and I just couldn't get along with it. I didn't really understand what was happening, so I'm just
See,
but I'm not really into that style of game, so...
That's a very interesting point that you made about them saying, "Oh, they don't have a tank. You have too many defense." So I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to get older players and younger players to kind of combine with this game, because at the core of this game, it's just Team Fortress 2. That's what it is, 100%. Like they have an engineer, they have the scout with tracer, they have your tank or your heavy, you have your medic. There's the demo man. I don't know if there's a pyro. I wasn't able to play the beta long enough to find if there was one that had like a spread like that. But because so many people are playing MOBAs now, like Dota 2, League. I don't know if people still play Heroes of New Earth, but that's still a thing. But
Hey, I tried to play Heroes of New Earth and I was no good at it.
Oh
I don't
my
really
God, it's
understand MOBAs at all, and like I just didn't get along with them, which is why I think I didn't really get along with Overwatch at all.
Right.
Because I don't really understand the hero based system that they all use. And
Honestly,
I think,
I'm gonna tell you right now, from someone who literally played a game where we were all one character, that stuff doesn't matter. They're literally trying to create a meta that shouldn't exist. And I feel like when I have arguments with people about this, but no, like when you play again, because this is Team Fortress 2. When you play Team Fortress 2, it doesn't matter if you have like multiple medics or multiple engineers or whatever. You play whatever character you like, and you will just and you use it to beat the game. That's it. If a character is terrible, I'm not. If all the tanks are terrible, what's the point in playing a tank? You might as play a bunch of healers, damage, and like support. So you're like, okay, it's fine. Like it. That's one thing that always annoys me, especially with games nowadays. They're trying to create stronger rules so that way they could like compete competitively, and I think that's what Overwatch is trying to do. They're trying to create these rules just so they could start making them tournaments and stuff. It does not matter. Like it is it's so frustrating just seeing that stuff and like talking to people being like, oh no, you shouldn't be this, you should be like this for Overwatch, because it literally has no point.
Yeah, it's like, oh, these games are for fun, not for like. Well, I guess it's kind of designed with an idea of there being a competitive like realm to it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it doesn't necessarily need to be, and games are for fun, which some people forget some of the time.
Yeah. And it's like it doesn't have to be team competitive stuff. Like I've played Team Fortress 2 and Overwatch. Like I feel like Overwatch is going to change a little bit in the future, where they're going to try to tweak everything where it is mandatory that you have to have like a one of every person, which is going to be I'm going to at that point I might as well just refund the game. Like I'm just going to be upset with it, cuz it's just going to take it to a different area. Like there have been times where people are like, we've had no healers, and we didn't even have tanks. We just had people that had high damage output, and we just like we had to defend a point, and all we do is just run around the map and just shoot people. Like it was great.
Yeah.
Like
I can imagine. That'd be great.
Exactly.
I'd probably get along with that if it was just a straight shooter, but it's not. So
yeah,
it then becomes more complicated.
Exactly. I think it really depends on A, who you play with, and B, if you've played Team Fortress 2 before, you'll be able to jump in like no problem. Thankfully, Team Fortress 2 is free to play on Steam, so it's like sometimes if I like while I'm waiting for Overwatch to come out, I'm just playing Team Fortress 2 again.
Ah, nice.
Yep.
So yeah, you said about Destiny. I'm just curious because I've been playing a lot of it recently.
Right.
How are you enjoying it since the spring update? Because I think I spoke to you just before then, and you were just like trying to get a few items.
I think so. Yeah. Now I'm sitting at around, I think, 314 is my light level, which as someone who hasn't like done any raids or like haven't really joined any parties, I feel like I've done like fairly well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been playing a little bit here and there. Like the treasures now that are available, they're amazing. Like I was able to get like a ship. The new when you unlock gear. One thing I didn't like about Destiny before was, say you had some gear, you had like some arms, and then you got a set of legendary, or you got a set of legendary or exotic arms that are currently lower than your defense level and all the stats, but you want to try to infuse your old like the gear you already had to bring it up to the same level. It would like do like an average or something like that, so it'd be lower than what you originally had.
It would take it to about 80% of the difference.
Exactly, but now it's like 100. It's 100% just a straight over. So Like it's fantastic. I just grab whatever I had. Like if I get an armor set that I really like, and I'm like, well, this is cool. Time
Mhm.
to switch over and get it in full. So
Nice.
it doesn't like I don't have to deal with that issue of, well, I want to get this, but it's gonna lower my light level and it's gonna like make all this stuff terrible. So I'm gonna have to just dismantle it.
Fair enough. Yeah. I've been playing it pretty consistently. And now I have like my first column. So the first column is primary weapon, special weapon, heavy weapon, and then the ghost. All of mine are 335, which is awesome. And then on my warlock, I've got all 335 apart from a chest. And now all I'm waiting for is a chest to drop at 335. And all I've got recently is 334s.
Oh my goodness!
Supremely frustrating. So I'm just waiting for a 335 chest. So I'm just trying to grind and just get one of those. And then that's me hit 335 on my warlock. And like the only thing I really want to do in the game now is complete the hard raid, the hard King's Fall, so that I can get the achievement for it, so that it's done, because that is the last thing that's waiting for me. But I'm having fun with the challenge of elders, because that's a good like half hour that can be spent just completing the scorecard for that.
Oh yeah.
And it changes every week as well, which is nice. I was playing with some people earlier today. I just found some randoms online, and I was like, okay, I want to try and complete this, and there's bonus points for punching things rather than shooting them. And one of the guys shot everything through all of the waves, and his score was terrible. And we had to run 3 times rather than 2 times through the whole thing, because we were like 7,000 points short. We were actually 5,000 points short, actually, because we hadn't killed the boss at that point. And it was just like, if he'd have been punching everything, we'd have probably cleared it like in 2. Especially like because you've got to hit a 90,000 point of cumulative score.
Right.
And when I was playing with other people earlier in the week, we were hitting, well, the highest we hit was 55,000, so that's easily done in less than 2 runs. But
Right.
You've got to see the 2 runs out. And so, yeah, we had to hop in a 3rd time, but at that point it was just like, we'll just hop in and just shoot the bosses, because you get, at least 4,500 points from just killing them. So
Okay.
it's just, it's nice and simple, but you can also just focus on the boss, and because of the modifiers, it's really easy to just do that. And, it gets a bit chaotic because you trigger like all 5 waves of enemies spawning, but if you just focus the boss, once that's down, everything goes away, and you can do it pretty much quick enough, and it's okay. But yeah, it's been. I've had a lot of fun playing it as well, because things have changed slightly, but there's always progression that can be made, which
Right.
is the nice thing.
Oh yeah.
That's the best thing about it, really. Progression's always being made.
For sure.
And that's the most fun. And like I said, one thing left I really want to do, which is the hard raid, and then maybe see if the guys I play with can help get me to the lighthouse. And yeah, you know, that'd be great, but you know, might not happen. Who knows? The lighthouse
possible.
It's possible, especially with friends that are like way better at PvP than me and go there multiple times a week. So it's just like, yeah, help me to the lighthouse. Woo! I just want the scout rifle as well from Trials of Osiris. I just want the inward lamp so bad, just because it's like one of the 2 weapons from the Trials of Osiris set that I just haven't got yet.
Right.
I'm just like, oh, I'm just a collector at heart. I just want to finish that collection. And yeah, there's just a lot of things. Speaking of collecting though, like I'm playing Diablo 3 again, still, obviously. I haven't stopped really playing it. I know that you picked it up as well, again.
Yeah.
You're going to be jumping into it on PC. And like they've changed some things, so now that there's there's full armor sets, and from those armor sets you can get challenge dungeons turning up. So now I'm trying to focus on finding the specific different set armor pieces, so that then we can do these challenge dungeons, and yeah, there's a lot of a lot more life in that game, and I've already played it for many hours.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's I was like, yeah, we might nearly be done with Diablo, and then it's like, nah, we're really not at all.
Not even close.
Not even close, not at all. But I'm kind of okay with that.
Pretty awesome game. So, like,
Yeah.
I forgot how great this game was because I always played a monk,
Yep.
and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just continue with my guy and just go through everything. And I thought it would be a little bit harder because it's been like maybe 6 to 8 months since I've last played.
Yeah.
And I immediately just jumped into it and was just having fun. And like, I think CCing is a little easier in terms of like grabbing mobs. So I'm able to run across the map and just grab every single monster that comes by, and then just completely just destroy it all at once and grab all the experience. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been playing a monk. That was like the first class I started.
Right.
And it's just great to just like run into the center, cyclone strike, bring everything towards you, and just lashing tail kick, and everything dies. And it's like, oh, this is pretty cool.
Oh, that's great.
And then like, yeah, I've been trying to play other classes. I've got one of each class now, just because there's an achievement to get all 6 to level 70.
Right.
Yeah, I'm thinking of. Oh, I'm trying to manage that. And yeah, there's also the hardcore achievements, which I don't know whether I'm going to try and get or not. I should be able to.
If you can get those, I have to give you an applause for that. Like, that would be phenomenal.
I mean, you can do it on normal difficulty, so it's not really that difficult.
Right.
Like, yeah, just play on normal, but on hardcore, it just means you can't die. And when you get to a certain point in the game, you get socketed items, and from there you can bump your attack massively because you can have gems on your other characters, which hopefully you can transfer over.
Right.
I'm not sure. But then that becomes massively easier. Because you can bump your attack damage, so you can get like a 40 attack damage weapon and then put a 220 damage gem into it. And it's just like, I win and hit everything, like one hit everything. It's kind of silly. But yeah, Diablo 3's fun. Rooster Teeth's doing okay. Bit of some weird stuff over the week. Destiny's fun, and also Overwatch beta is okay, not for me, but you know, other people are going to enjoy.
For sure.
So yeah, excellent. Thank you very much for being my guest this week.
Oh no, thank you for having me. Like, again, it's always a pleasure being here.
No problem. And where can we find you across the internet?
So you can find me on the Rooster Teeth website as Shoban, unless I change it back to Nabos, in which case I may. On Twitter, you can find me Nabos, Steam, PSN, Nabos, Friday Night Flash, every Friday, 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I basically just sit in front of my turntable for 3 hours, just do a little mix. You can find it on mixler.com/Nabos, NABOHS, or FridayNightFlash.com/live, where on there I kind of jump on about 10-15 minutes earlier and just do a little bit extra, just mixing records or cassette tapes, whatever I can get my hands on. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. I am in various places under a million different names. Rooster Teeth's site is Topham. Destroy Topham on Twitter and probably YouTube as well. But that'll be how you actually found this video. So yeah. Where else? On Instagram, I am Etherfar, which is the name of my bard from one of the D&D games I'm playing. But it's also the music project that I'm working on, so there's music for that. I'm working on a shoegaze type track at the moment, and I can't wait for that to come out and people hear it. There's like a clip of what I've been working on my Instagram as well, so that's chilling out right now. So yeah,
nice.
Yeah, things are going well. Like I said, thanks for being my guest, and thank you everyone for listening. Goodbye.
Bye.